So in today's video, I'm going to be explaining whether or not you guys should use the new 50-player Zone Wars in order to practice for stacked solo games. So if you guys don't know, Epic Games recently added a feature where now 50 players can play in creative together, and this has caused a bunch of map creators to make 50-player Zone Wars maps in order for endgame scrim practice. Be sure to use code SonataFN in the item shop if you guys want to support me, and let's hop into this video. So the first thing I'm going to be going over is if you guys should play these 50-player Zone Wars or not. And I'm going to give you guys a straight to the point answer. The answer will be maybe. So as you guys know, these Zone Wars are quite new, and not that many map creators have had too much time to, perfect their maps. So there are going to be a bunch of glitches. For example, sometimes you may not spawn with a certain weapon, sometimes you may spawn with a pump shotgun instead of a charge or a lever, sometimes you may spawn with no mats. There's just a bunch of glitches that are going to mess with your overall gameplay. And also, the zones are quite repetitive, so that if you guys are playing same maps many times over, the zones are going to be very easy to track, and you guys can position yourselves very easy if you guys know where the zone is going to go, eliminating that, type of quick thinking that you have to do in real stacked games. And it also is quite difficult to find 50 people to play with if you're going to be playing in a fill lobby with actual good players. However, if you guys want to play in a lobby with randoms, you guys can do so by entering the map code that is up here on screen. I'm also going to have a whole section of this video dedicated how to play this 50-player Zone Wars. In relation to scrim practice, it is quite useful if you guys want to get good at tarping and just kind of, dealing with that whole endgame stress situation, because you guys obviously can respawn and there's no money or PR points on the line. I think this is going to make the average Fortnite player way better at endgame, so if you guys want to hop on that train, you should definitely consider playing this right now. So overall, for whether or not you should play this game mode, it kind of varies. It varies on what you're trying to use it for and how you want to play. Alright, now the next section is going to be lag. As you guys know, competitive stacked endgames can be very laggy with a lot of low FPS and input delay, and I'm going to be covering whether or not Zone Wars are the same way. So all in all, the simple answer is yes, Zone Wars are quite laggy, but I wouldn't say they're as laggy as a very stacked solo scrim. Especially if you're playing in a very laggy part of the map where there's going to be a bunch of builds and bouncers, that's when the scrim games are going to get really laggy. You guys also need to realize that where you spawn in Zone Wars isn't necessarily going to be realistic, because there's no dead side and congested side of zone. Most of the time, people are going to be spawning in certain increments in a certain spot, and they're just going to be W keying. A lot of times in these games, there's a lot of people W keying, so people do die out quite quickly if you're playing with brainless people. However, if you are playing Zone Wars with players that actually want to get better at endgame, that is a good experience. Especially if you're playing with people that you know how to play with, it's very good. The other thing relating to lag on this is there's going to be a lot of unnecessary stuff on the map. There's going to be a lot of various builds that just don't need to be there, added by the map creator, obviously, places where people need to spawn that are going to get destroyed, and there's also going to be a lot of noise. Alright, now I'm going to be moving on to my final section, which is how to play this 50-player Zone Wars. So as I mentioned before, there is a map code that you guys can enter, and you guys can queue up through that and basically go and play with randoms. However, if you guys do want to get 50 people to play with, you just got to tell them to enter the map code and tell them when to queue up. You guys should get into the same game, because there's not that many lobbies happening at one time, especially with this brand new map. However, I would say that if you guys want to play in the future, you guys should follow my Twitter, because I'm going to be posting codes for this map as it gets better over the time. And when you guys are playing with somebody that you're in a Discord call with, you guys should try to just deafen, because you don't really want to, team with anybody. You kind of want to play like you're playing for an endgame scrim practice. This is going to revolutionize the Fortnite solo practice scene. Everybody's going to be getting better at solo endgames and solo stacked customs, so you guys should really try and hop on this train while you can. It's also really good that you guys now have a place to play where it's going to be laggy as endgames, and it's also going to be very easy to find teammates. And the reason I say that it's going to be easy to find teammates is because if you guys are playing 50-man Zone Wars with certain people, and then you start talking to them, you start seeing it that they're a good player, that they're winning most of these solo customs, then you guys can potentially trio or duo with them. I would recommend this practice to anybody that's planning to compete in future solo events, such as something like the Booga Throwback Cup, or maybe some stacked solo cash cups. Those are the best things that you guys can improve at with these brand new 50-player Zone Wars. Anyways, guys, that is the video on whether or not you guys should play this brand new 50-player Zone Wars. If you guys did enjoy, please consider dropping a like and subscribing to the channel for more. Be sure to check out my socials in the description if you guys do want to support me. But that's about it for this video, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.